All right, it's Rory here, and I want to walk you through the cost of having a job. I have noticed that over the years, when I'm walking a new student through our program, that they don't really understand how things work as far as how much you need to bring in to cover your costs, and that it actually costs you money to have a job. And so I want to give you a comparison on it, and I'm going to let you do this on your own. So I'm going to walk you through some numbers. Everybody has a different scenario going on in their life and where they live and what they need to get by and so forth. So first and foremost, I'm going to list in the description below a copy of this file. And you simply can go to that file and it'll pull it up there and it'll look like this. It'll say view only. It's going to have the Google Doc where this is at. You just click view only, and you can request edit access, in which case that's fine. You're not going to get it. But you can do the following. You're going to go to a file, make a copy, and this will put it into your own Google Doc drive if you have a Google Doc drive. If you don't have a Google account, go get one, gmail.com, and then you'll add it there, okay? And you can just do copy of cost of having a job. In this case, I'm going to make it Rory made a copy of, and I'm going to put it, I can put it in my drive, I can put it shared with me, I can put whatever, but I'll put it on my drive, that's fine. And I'm going to put zeros in the front of it so I can find it in my huge library. So I'll hit OK. It's going to make a copy of it. And now that I made a copy of it, I can now edit this document. So in this case, you guys could edit it. Now, this is going to take into account the stuff that you have, and you can add things to it or add to the number of it, right? There's other things in here that may not make sense, and you can add something there. And it's just going to add up what your costs are to, live for the month and get with your job. So a lot of jobs that people have, especially if it's like in retail or in an office place, or even if it's construction or working with tools, there's costs that you have to have that job. And that's clothing, transportation and maintenance, maybe a car payment is required in there, fuel, power, coffees, additional food. These are what you spend on the job, right? On the way to work, maybe you pick up coffee every time, or at lunch you get a coffee, or at 10 o'clock or noon you get a coffee. And some people get them paid for where they work, others have to buy their own. These are all costs of doing your job, right? I put psychology sessions on here. That is literally something that I recommend for anybody. I think it's good to have someone to vent to. We work in a very stressful environment in any type of area where you have a job and you're working with people that you may or may not have chosen to work with. And sometimes your psychology sessions might be a girls' night out that you desperately need to keep up with your work habit. And maybe that's $200 when you go out. Maybe that's $150. It's still a cost associated with you coping with having a job. So whatever you want to call it, it's there. Now, if you have kids and you have daycare, there's a cost of daycare. What is that? And I know some people get a write off that or get to offset that. Well, put that down with what is there. These are all costs of you having that job. And what it usually works out to is, man, people spend a lot of time to work just to have a car. They work all the time just to have a few things. You've got to make more money to have a more successful go at it, and we all have base overheads that we're going to carry. This is to analyze what those are, right? Your commute time may not have a cost to it, but I wanted you to be aware that you are spending time or money with a job, and most every job out there, very few pay you for the time you're commuting to or from the office. You only get paid from the time you clock in or the time you arrive and the time you depart or clock out, right? And commute time, though, is a cost. And what are you doing with those hours of commute time? If you're, on a bus, on a train, and you're able to do other work and do things while you're doing that, and you can maximize the time, great. If you're driving and you have to pay attention to the road, but that's definitely time that's out of your day that's not being productive to make money per se. It's taking you to your job. These are things to look at. Marketing costs, you may have them, you may not usually with a job, but I put that on there because marketing costs could be another section. You could swap it out for something else. I like to keep marketing costs around where, I teach marketing, and there's usually a cost to it in some regard, right? Travel, flights, hotel. Hopefully you're traveling, you're doing vacations, you're putting things aside. I put a budget on here because everybody should be spending, not that you spend $100 a month, but you might spend, $4,000 a year traveling. And that's definitely going to be, part of it. I also think that anybody that has a job and you got a 2 week vacation, you should be spending it in something that's more of an experience just so you can recharge. That's what those are. And if you don't have those costs, take them out, no problem. Insurance costs, this varies. Insurance is one of those golden handcuffs that a lot of businesses give you as an employee. You can buy your own insurance. I've been buying my own insurance since I can remember, forever, right? And this is definitely something you can do. There's medical costs you can, get with, or programs that help. And there's also some places where you work that's part of what you earn. It doesn't come out of your check or your wage. Sometimes part of it does. This is where you would put that part. So just so you can add it up. It's golden handcuffs. A lot of people don't want to leave the job because they got great medical. I understand that. Add that into the equation though. You need to see what you're working for, right? Then you got your job by the hour. This is your incomes coming in. If you have other incomes, you can add them in here and you change the formulas around. But just based on the job by the hour. And I've been telling stay-home moms that if you got kids in daycare and you're working outside the home, odds are you're just trading your time for someone else's time to raise your kids. And that's usually what's going on. And a lot of times it costs you money. And I've been saying that. And this is what it looks like. I mean, if you're putting money aside for things and things you're doing that you can't write off with a job, you're really upside down. And this is why couples or single moms have a really hard time getting ahead because they think they're making this much money, but it's just always spent. It was spent because you have expenses regardless, right? And it's really good to understand that. So I wanted to show you how this was, and then I'm going to show you how we do it with our program called RRR247. I'm going to show you what the cost of RRR247 look like. We have a hosting cost per month of $13. We have an Anchor 1, 2, and 3 that have a monthly cost to participate in them. And internet, cell phone, and I always put marketing costs over here. The way we do things, we've been pretty blessed, Tanya and I, so we really pour it into our students. We fund your marketing. So that marketing cost, it could be there. It's not. We give you access to literally thousands of dollars of marketing every month to build your business and then some. Like, it's pretty amazing. But anyway, that being said, we have some costs and I put them all there. We also have other needs that you might have, and you don't really need clothing. Basics. A lot of our guys, you can work from your pajamas, right? You're working from home. You don't really need transportation or all these other things here, but we do have flights, hotels, beverage, meals and entertainment, and I put insurance and medical just because I think everybody needs to have something, and that's what it runs for us, so I put it on there. But this right here, this goes towards our events. We call it our office time. We meet, throughout the year, and if you're budgeting about $300 a year, that's $3,600 a month. $3,600 a year, $300 a month. It basically covers those costs. Now you have ways to earn that. There's all sorts of things on there, but it's good to talk about it, right? It's there. We also get to write that off. And if we do anything with anything here that's offsetting towards the business costs, this is income that we're producing. There's a lot more ways to write other things off, and you can get with your CPA about that. I'm not a CPA, nor do I pretend to be one. I just know that my taxes have worked a certain way since I was 14. We all live under the same, guidelines, and so if it works for me, it'll probably work for you, and I'll just go based on that. But then we go to the incomes where it's made, and we build things in a circular way, and it builds multiple streams of income. And as you're building your PBS and getting in it with Google AdSense, you should be making $10+ a day if you're doing things in the right manner and building that. And that's where the $400 comes in. Anchor 1, Anchor 2, these are things that you can make $500 a week on, and maybe you're making less, you're building towards it, but these are all things I've seen done and helped others do. Anchor 3, 500, that's a newer one. And then we have our own private affiliate network, we have other affiliate incomes, and we have our IBO that's $750 a month. And these are all revenues that come in, and That's where this is all coming from, and this is the weekly income as we try to bring it in. Some things we just make 100 a week, 500 a week. It adds up, right? And multiple streams. But also, we don't have the same type of overheads that offset that income. So our gross income on this model is coming in at $600, and we got write-offs with the things up above of the 400 and the 1100, which is roughly 1500 here. So our net income, this is pre-tax, is $4,500, and then obviously there's other taxes and write-offs that come into play. But this just gives you an idea of how the money looks when you're bringing that money in. You're not paying taxes till after based on net income, and you might have other expenses that come in here that I didn't put there, right? And I'll go over here for a second. Clothing, if you're part of our social media marketing campaign initiatives that we do, and I'm going to tell you, I've been told you can absolutely write off the clothing you're wearing while you're on camera. It's part of the deal, right? We dress to a certain thing, and if we have to change things up, we definitely can start writing off things we put into our marketing because it's part of our staging, it's part of the other applications. Just put that in mind. I'm going to just go to that and blend it. This is just an explanation and something to play with, okay? Now, we have people that make six figures a year in Anchor 1, six figures a year in Anchor 2. We have people, this is a brand new one that we just introduced, and we have people that are on track to make six figures a year and growing, and so these can get really awesome. These are things that are just very easy to assimilate in our training on where they come from, where the money comes from. We have part of our private affiliate network. We have people that are literally making thousands of dollars from one project that we have. But this is just to round out how we like to teach it, what to expect. The IBO is a set $750 a month. It doesn't go up, it doesn't go down. If you qualify for it, that's what it is. It's guaranteed for 6 months, but we have people that have been getting in it for over 3 years now. And these are just things that are available to you within our program. And there's more to it. We also have a job aspect with us as well. It's paid out in a 1099. Taxes are not taken out, and you can kind of relate to that when I go to the next sequence. So I'm going to go right here to the middle one, and this is cost of having a job and RRR247, and being able to apply different expenses and things that are going on based on that. And this is something you can play with. And basically, what I'm trying to point out in mathematical sense is anybody that's added the RRR247 process and business to their life, your tax ability is so much better. The savings alone offset what you're gaining from this, and you just have the ability to make more and more money and get ahead. I don't think any family that relies on W-2 employment and wages is going to ever be able to get ahead. You need to take advantage of the tax codes that are there for business owners, and that is an amazing fact once you see it. I mean, just by having a side hustle or a side business going, even if it's not profiting to you like what you would expect or maybe what your intentions were, by having it alone there and operating it and participating in it, you put yourself in a better financial direction than you did without it. Okay, and it's just those of us that know they don't teach it in school and they should, and this is a way to kind of express it. And here's a way to look at it, right? Here's the cost of RRR247 here. Here's what the incomes can be here, and then over here is what your job is, right? What you make by with your job, and then you got your taxes for that, and the other taxes don't come out. And you can increase your income. Your expenses are what's there. You start writing things off more because you can apply them to your business. Business owners and W-2 employees have the same costs, right? We all pay for cell phones and internet. Only as a business owner, I can write mine off because I use it for my business. There's a lot of things like that, and hopefully that's making sense. And that's something we can dive into. And again, this is just a presentation for you to go through. I give you access to the sheets to play with, and it's a great way to work it all up and again. And we'll call this for entertainment purposes only. I'm not promising anything or guaranteeing anything, but you can really apply this and see where things are going to look like, and say, hey, based on my financial needs, am I going to make them with just a job? Probably not. Am I going to make them just with RRR247? Yeah, if you want to. If you have the best of both worlds, this is what it looks like. And if you're working a job and you're working the RRR thing on the side, you can build things up and gain from the way we work in teams to make this happen, even if it takes a little longer than you intended. It's a reality you can see and have advantage of. And you can play with the numbers, play with these numbers right here. Once you made the copy, I can drop this down to $100. I can drop this down to, $200, drop this down to $50, right? And the private network, maybe we only make 20 there, and maybe we make 10 here. Maybe Google's only bringing in $100 because we just got going, right? And that income's coming in, and then the job's still making way more money. But we look at the end, it says net income pre-tax. This is our gross income. There's our expenses that we're writing off because of the business aspect. And here's our taxes from the job, and it shows a negative, which means we're going to be offsetting our tax income. This is a good thing if you understand math. And if you don't understand it, this is why we should get on and walk you through it. Anyway, my name is Rory. I wanted to give you something to look at. Again, I'm not a CPA. I'm not an accountant. I've been doing this since I was 14. I'm now 47, and I'm here to tell you that, when you have a business and you invest in it and you utilize the tax codes that are available, if you are a family and do not have a business as well, and you rely on W-2 income, you are going to pay the most in taxes possible, and you're not being very smart with the rules of the game that are out there, as I say it. So I would highly recommend that you add the RRR247 and the family of stuff that we do. Let it build and gain with you, and you can see the difference. And here it is. You can break it down. Here's the cost of having a job. Here's the cost of just RRR247. Here's what happens when you blend it. Play with the numbers as I showed you how to do it, and look forward to seeing you in the training and helping us expand this. We're trying to take this to 1 million homes around the world, teach them how to build and thrive and support themselves in this amazing dynamic internet that's changing and growing all the time and creating more and more ways of creating income. And that's what we're about. Marketing is what we do. Again, my name is Rory. I'm the author of Marketing is Freedom, and I get to teach people through an organization that we've created over 14 years now, how to make money online through a real proven process. It is a hosting product because it works for us 24/7, and we work smarter, not harder. It's not a get rich quick, it's a get rich smart program. And I just wanted to give you some angles on why it's an advantageous thing to add to what you do. Anyway, talk to you soon. God bless. Bye for now.